Most unbelievable gold digger stories ever. Helge Scarby. Helge Scarby, known as Swiss Gigolo, managed to collect an impressive $11.8 million from women that fell for him. The 44-year-old former banker, handsome, tall, and well-mannered, has shown a remarkable talent in the field of effective affection. Scarby extorted millions from his victims, which included the billionaire BMW heiress Susan Clatton. Scarby began blackmailing her, sending her a CD containing photographs of the two of them having sex. He said that unless she paid up, he would send a copy to her husband and the executive board of BMW. But soon his luck ran out, and Scarby was arrested and sentenced to 6 years in prison for fraud, and attempted blackmail. Stiviano. Stiviano was the mistress to former LA Clippers owner Donald Sterling. The 80-year-old American businessman bought her own place worth around $1.8 million, 2 Bentleys, a Range Rover, and a Ferrari. And if this wasn't enough, Stiviano received some sort of allowance worth several hundreds of thousands of dollars. Yes, this is true love. Moreover, after their breakup, she published audio recording where Sterling made racist remarks about bringing black people to the LA Clippers games. Due to this record, Stiviano gained the public's attention and Sterling got a lifelong NBA ban. This story ended after Donald's wife sued Stiviano and she was ordered to pay back $2.3 million. Anna Nicole Smith. This is probably the most obvious case of gold digging, which met a tragic ending. In 1994, Anna Nicole Smith, who was a 26-year-old stripper, married the oil tycoon billionaire J. Howard Marshall, who was 87 years old. It was pretty obvious to Marshall's family what Smith's true intentions were with their relationship, and when J. Howard Marshall died, he left her nothing in his will. Obviously, Ms. Smith went to court trying to get at least $500 million that she thought she was entitled to. Former Playboy Bunny brought the suit against the magnate's family before passing away at the age of 39 from a drug overdose. Darva Conger. Most money-grubbing hotties try to keep their private affairs out of the public spotlight in order to lessen the image of impropriety. Darva broke that rule when she sold her soul and herself on national television for the first and only episode of the reality game show called Who Wants to Marry a Multi-Millionaire? She won the hand of so-called millionaire Rick Rockwell out of 50 other bull market brides, but the marriage fell apart before she even had a chance to get her hands down his pants and into his wallet. She publicly denounced her former husband and the show for exploiting and humiliating her, and she dealt with her grief by posing naked in Playboy for an actual $1.8 million. Oksana Grigorieva. The Russian pianist and songwriter Oksana Grigorieva became involved with the famous Hollywood actor Mel Gibson. Grigorieva and Gibson only dated for 1 year, and she got pregnant during this time. This was the same woman which published nasty recordings which caused media firestorm for Gibson. After their breakup, Gibson offered Oksana $15 million to walk away, but she refused his offer and decided to take it to court. After denying her former settlement, she ultimately ended up with a mere $750,000. Well, sometimes it's better to take what you're offered rather than pressing your luck. Crystal Harris. A former Playboy bunny is 60 years younger than her current husband, Hugh Hefner. Harris and Hefner were married on December 2012, but they were supposed to get married on an earlier date. Just before the wedding, she bailed from the Playboy mansion and took a $500,000 deal to star in her own reality show. After Harris realized that this wasn't the best idea, she quickly ran back to the mansion and begged Hefner for his forgiveness. Hefner took her back, and the two were finally married. Don't expect Harris to leave with a fortune because Hefner's lawyers have made absolutely sure that a divorce will net her absolutely nothing. Heather Mills. Heather Mills married Paul McCartney in a fancy $3.2 million wedding in 2002. By 2008, they'd been through a bitter divorce battle. Heather ended up with a settlement of almost $50 million. That sounds like an awful lot, but she actually asked for a staggering $250 million. Her request for financial support allegedly included proposed yearly budgets of more than $400,000 for private flights, $80,000 for wine, and $750,000 for clothes. The 72-year-old English musician even admitted that his marriage to Heather Mills was one of the biggest mistakes of his life. Gabriel Aubry. As one of the most successful male models, Gabriel Aubry had no trouble meeting rich and famous women in his work. He met and charmed Halle Berry in 2005, and a year later, they wed. After the divorce, Aubry was apparently fine with what he got from Berry at the time, but instead began to use their daughter as a wedge to gain financial access. The male model demanded $20,000 a month in child support, which is an obscene amount of cash to spend on your child per month. Moreover, he insisted on covering all his court costs.